Okay, get ready because tonight we're jumping into something truly spectacular, something that might just be happening right over your head.
That's right.
We're talking about the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, potentially putting on an incredible show, really widespread across parts of the U.S.
Yeah, a much wider area than usual.
So this deep dive, it's all about understanding, not just what's causing this, but why it's such a big deal on this scale, why it's so rare.
Exactly.
And crucially, how you might actually get to see this natural magic for yourself.
And you really hit on it. Rare on this scale
Yeah.
is absolutely the key phrase here. The kind of widespread visibility we're talking about tonight, reaching way farther south than you'd normally expect. That's genuinely significant.
Yeah.
It's a direct result, really a powerful consequence of some truly intense solar activity, stuff happening on the sun.
Okay, so let's unpack that. What exactly triggered this incredible light show? I mean, the big question on everyone's mind. The sources are pointing to a very specific cosmic event. It seems on June 17th, 2025, a powerful X1.2 class solar flare erupted from the sun.
Yeah, an X1.2. And for folks who follow this stuff, X-class is, well, it's basically the major leagues of solar flares, one of the most intense categories there is.
It's kind of staggering, isn't it? Not just how the lights appear, but the sheer raw power involved. Our sun just painting our skies from, 93 million miles away?
It's incredible. That single X1.2 flare, the energy release is just monumental. Think billions of atomic bombs. And it's a tiny, tiny fraction of that energy reaching Earth that creates these beautiful displays.
And after that flare, it wasn't just a flash, right? It sent something towards it.
Precisely. It threw out these colossal clouds of charged particles. We call them coronal mass ejections, or CMEs.
CMEs, okay.
And these CMEs were hurled directly towards Earth. That's the crucial part, the direct hit.
So how does that solar outburst, that CME, turn into the northern lights we see here?
Well, what's fascinating is seeing that connection. According to NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, these CMEs, they've basically stirred things up and caused a major geomagnetic storm.
A storm in Earth's magnetic field.
Exactly. And that storm is the immediate trigger.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, what happens is those charged particles from the sun, the solar wind, carried in the CME, they slam into gases already present way up in Earth's upper atmosphere.
Gases like?
Primarily oxygen and nitrogen. Those are the main ones up there. And these collisions, they energize the gas molecules.
Okay.
And when those molecules release that extra energy, they release it as light. And that's what we see, those fantastic dancing lights of the aurora.
Wow. So the sky itself becomes this giant atmospheric light show, like a natural chemistry experiment painting light based on altitude and the gases involved.
That's a great way to put it.
You mentioned colors. We always hear about green, but sometimes red and purple too. How does that work?
Exactly. The colors are like fingerprints. They tell you which gas got hit and roughly how high up it happened.
Yeah.
So that really common, often bright green light, that's typically oxygen getting excited at lower altitudes, maybe 60 to 150 miles up.
Okay, green from lower oxygen.
But those really captivating reds and purples, the ones that are often a bit fainter or higher up, and maybe rarer to see further south,
Yeah.
those tend to come from nitrogen and also oxygen, but reacting at much higher altitudes.
Yeah.
So if you manage to see reds tonight, you're witnessing interactions happening way, way up there. A slightly rarer part of the show.
All right. This is the part everyone's waiting for. How do you actually see this? Where should people be looking tonight?
Good question. For tonight's potential spectacle, the prime viewing locations are going to be states like Michigan, especially the Upper Peninsula. That's usually a hot spot.
Right.
The UP.
Wisconsin, too. North and South Dakota, Montana, northern Minnesota. Also, parts of New York and Vermont have a good shot, and maybe even northern Idaho and Oregon.
Okay, so mostly the northern states. But you mentioned it might reach further south. Yeah, the sources suggest that if conditions are really ideal, like a strong storm phase and very clear dark skies, visibility could potentially extend farther south than those primary areas. It's worth looking even if you're a bit south of those zones.
So what should people be looking for exactly? Is it like a curtain, a glow?
You want to scan the northern sky, looking towards the horizon, look for glowing waves or maybe even curtains of light. The colors could be green, pink, sometimes red, even purple, sort of shimmering and dancing.
And tips for actually seeing it.
Yeah.
Timing, location.
Definitely. Timing is key. The best window is generally between, say, 10:00 p.m. and 2 a.m. local time. That's usually when the substorm activity peaks.
10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Got it.
And the absolute essential tip, the one people sometimes forget, get away from city lights. Find a dark open space, a field, a lakeshore, hilltop. anywhere with minimal light pollution.
Makes sense.
Assuming the weather cooperates and you have clear skies, darkness is your best friend. It dramatically boosts your chances of seeing the fainter colors and the full structure. Don't underestimate how much even distant city glow can wash it out.
Okay, good advice. Now, beyond just being beautiful, does this huge solar event, this geomagnetic storm, have any, real-world impacts we should be aware of? Any safety concerns, disruptions?
That's a really important question, and yet people always wonder about that. The good news, the main takeaway, is that for us down here on the surface, for human health, there's really no threat. Our atmosphere does a great job protecting us.
Okay, that's a relief.
Now, there can be some minor technological effects. You might see some slight interference with certain satellites. Maybe high-precision GPS systems could be a little less accurate temporarily. And yeah, airlines, particularly those flying polar routes and power grid operators, they've definitely been alerted. They have procedures for this kind of space weather. But truly major disruptions, they aren't expected this time around.
So, bottom line, no need to worry, just enjoy the show.
Pretty much. You can just focus on the beauty unfolding up there.
That's great.
And if we kind of connect this to the bigger picture, there's a really interesting timing element here. This potentially rare celestial show happens to coincide with the Juneteenth holiday.
Oh, wow, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, and while obviously it's a scientific phenomenon, throughout history, people have looked to the skies for meaning, right? Celestial events were often seen as signs or symbols.
Sure.
So maybe in a modern way, for some folks, seeing these incredibly vibrant auroras tonight could feel like a symbolic reminder, beauty, freedom, sort of magic inherent in nature. It might just add another layer of meaning to an already significant day.
That's a lovely thought. And are people seeing anything already?
Yes. For those eager for a preview, there are already reports filtering through social media, photos too. Faint auroras were definitely visible last night in parts of Canada and the northern U.S. Which generally means, tonight is expected to bring an even stronger, potentially more vibrant display as the main part of the CME interacts with Earth.
Okay, so the message is clear then. If you are in one of those northern U.S. states tonight, or maybe even a bit further south, with clear, dark skies, we really encourage you, embrace this. It's a genuinely rare opportunity on this scale. Step outside, look up towards the north, and just soak in one of nature's most incredible performances.
Absolutely.
It's a unique chance, really, to connect with something vast and beautiful right from maybe even your own backyard.
It really is. And, it does raise an interesting thought, doesn't it? We can now track these solar flares with incredible precision. We can predict the geomagnetic storms, the CMEs hitting Earth. We understand the science so well.
Right, the physics of it.
Yeah. But what does it mean for us as humans that these immense, grand, cosmic events still unfold right above us? They still prompt us, maybe, to look for deeper meaning, for connection. Perhaps it's just a profound reminder that even with all our accumulated knowledge, all our science, there's still this unquantifiable, sort of awesome, beautiful magic in the universe.
Yeah.
And sometimes all it asks is that we just look up and see it.